have an awesome, friendly kid, Jeff Kennedy, Rolly Jefferson Jr. An even more scary story. Okay, while I'm on the topic of scary stuff, I want to share a story about something that happened a couple years ago. One time I was at my grandpa's log cabin with my dad for the weekend. We took a hike. I got kind of dirty. Well, definitely, it's my dad's cabin now because my grandpa died the year before. I called my grandpa Bambi because the reason I called him that is because I was 2. I couldn't say grandpa. Bambi! But when I got older, I could say grandpa. Nobody would let me change it. But when my grandpa got older, it's the only word he said. We love you, Dad. Bambi. Yeah. So, anyway, back to the story. After I got dirty from that hike, my dad said I have to take a shower. But Bambi cabin is really old and it doesn't have a shower. It only have one of those creepy old-fashioned tub. After I filled the tub with water, I got in. Here's what happened next. I heard footsteps coming down the hall, and I thought it was my dad bringing me a towel or something. Dad? Clomp, clomp, clomp. Then the door opened really slow. Guess what? No one was even there. I jumped out of the tub and ran around the house looking everywhere for my dad. And if you're thinking, oh, Rolly, the door thing was your dad playing trick on you. Well, guess what? It wasn't. My dad was getting some milk at the store, and he didn't come back until like a half hour later. I told my dad what happened with the door, and he said it'd probably be just the wind. But I know what it was, the ghost of Bambi. Bambi. The time Greg played a harmless prank on me. I know the last chapter didn't have a lot of Greg in it. But I wanted to mention things totally freaked me out. Okay, I know the last chapter didn't have a lot of Greg in it, but I wanted to mention the story was really quick because the Bambi thing totally freaked me out. If you like scary stuff, then you're in luck because this one is pretty scary too. The one day, me and Greg were hanging out at my house. Greg told me that he saw on the news there was a burglar going around breaking in people's homes. Then he said he had to go home for dinner. When he left, I started getting scared because my parents weren't around. But here's the thing I found out later. That Greg just pretended to leave. He shut the front door, then he stayed inside my house. He took off his shoes and walked up the stairs super quiet so I couldn't hear him. Then he started stomping around real loud upstairs. At first, I thought it was the ghost of Bambi all over again. I realized it was probably the boggler Greg told me about, and I almost peed my pants for the second time in a boggly. Stomp, stomp. I heard footsteps coming down the stairs. I ran in the garage to hide from the boggler. It's pitch black in the garage, but I didn't want to make a move until I was sure the guy was gone, until the door to the garage opened real slow, and I knew the boggler's gonna get me if I didn't do something. I whacked him in the face with my dad's tennis racket and made a run for it. Then I ran out the front door and went to Mrs. Moore's house next door to tell her to call the cops. But then Greg came out of my house. That's when I found the whole thing was just a harmless prank. Greg was mad at me for 2 whole weeks, and I should know from the way the footprint sounded that is him, not the boggler. I guess he's got a pretty good point about the sense she's always playing wacky pranks on me. I feel things kind of bad, about whacking him in the tennis racket, but not really. Another time Greg got mad at me. Okay, that last story made me remember another time Greg got mad at me. Me and Greg were walking home from school a few months ago, and there were slugs everywhere because it just rained the night before. But whenever there are slugs lying around, Greg chased me with one. I guess it's pretty funny if you think about it, but it's never funny when it's happening. Luckily, I'm really half fast when someone's chasing me with a slug. I got away from Greg by climbing on the big rock in Mr. E front yard. Greg tried to get me to climb down, but I stayed there right where I was. If you come down, I probably won't make you eat this slug. I got Greg tried to fling the slug at me, but he lost his balance and almost fell in the giant puddle in front of the rock. He was stuck, and I felt bad at him because he's my best friend. I got down at the rock and tried to help Greg. He told me to pull him back on his feet. But I guess I heard him wrong. I grabbed by his feet, and that turned out to be a pretty dumb move.
是把它丢下来了，是不是？
就他 他没有弄出
开
来。
启他欺负他，小仙。
错，不是。I didn't know what Greg was gonna do when he got out of the puddle, but I didn't want to stick around to find out. So I ran to my house and locked myself in my room, and I didn't come out until Greg got called home for dinner. The next day, Greg said he was gonna get me back when I least suspected. I just hope Greg forget me, because it comes to pay back when he got a good imagination. Done. Thanks for watching. Bye!